Yeah, I was talking to Miss K about this book.
Yeah.
And the guy next to us, I saw him, he was just like looking up David Hawkins.
No way.
I was
Inspiring
like,
the people.
I'm spreading
Okay, spreading the word?
the virus.
The word. No.
What up, baby? We back again. Welcome to the second video of the series on Letting Go by David Hawkins. So in this second video, we're going to jump into one of the 4 methods that David Hawkins discusses as the ways that people deal with their emotions. And that is suppression and repression.
Yeah, so he starts off with a key distinction that was new to me, and I was shocked at myself for not knowing the distinction between suppression and repression. And so repression being something that's done unconsciously, so a bottling up of an emotion that is done unconsciously, versus suppression being a conscious effort to neglect whatever emotion it is that is stirred up in that moment.
Repression, the unconscious method, is often through guilt and fear. These are the forces that push the emotion down. So, for example, if you felt fear or anger, and this is not aligned with who you think you are, someone cuts you off in traffic and you get mad, and you think to yourself, I'm not the kind of person who gets mad. That's not right for me to be mad. Even though it's just an emotion, it's not necessarily you. You feel guilt about it and you push it down.
Because that's not who you are, and so you feel like a bad person. You might have like a meaning associated to like having gotten angry, so you don't let that emotion just exist as it came through you. You do that repression or suppression depending on, I guess, who you are and
right.
how much that's been going on in your life, I guess. But let's talk about projection. Let's talk about projection.
I'm gonna subtly quickly put on the glasses because this is a really woke point to make. So, no, I'm just kidding. So the mechanisms that keep these feelings down, because it takes an enormous amount of energy to stay in this repressed state. There's both denial, which is just denying that the event or the feeling exists. But then there's also projection, and this is a much more common. And this is what Sam was talking about, where things that are happening internally get projected onto the external world. Someone who's repressed a lot of fear, they see the world as a scary place. Someone who represses a lot of anger sees a lot of people that annoy them, sees the world as full of people that are out to get them. And one quote from the book is, we focus on what we've repressed. So that colors our world. Projection is paired with denial in the feeling response. So you have an emotion, comes up, say fear or anger. Those are very common ones.
Yeah, like an impulsive emotion just kind of comes over you.
And this could be, and this is totally fine. This is normal for people to feel fear and anger. But people, because of who they think they are in the world, they think, oh, I'm not an angry person. I can't get mad at people. There's stigma against feeling fear. I'm not scared. I
know scaredy cat.
So you feel guilt. You feel angry at yourself, and you suppress those emotions. And once they're suppressed, they need to be held down. And basically, when you have enough of that emotion inside of you that's repressed, it needs to come out. This can be through putting it on someone. You see the other person as having that quality. You see you as the reason that I'm feeling angry.
Yeah.
Or you create the situation in which you feel that emotion. You start an argument so that you can feel angry at the other person.
Right. Looking for ways, like the repressed emotion, the repressed or suppressed emotion is looking for any event or external thing to like release itself in
Exactly.
like bursts of steam. Yeah, and like I like how you said that, like if you're if you've been like suppressing a lot of this, like maybe like, let's say guilt, you're suppressing a lot of like shame and guilt, you see the world as like constantly trying to tempt you, or like everything seems so sinful because
Exactly.
you're that's what you have bottled up, so it must be all over, like the temptations are all around you because that's the world that you live in, because that's how you see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another thing that he talks about is stress as part of this picture of suppression, repression. He says that stress doesn't exist in the external world. Stress is only internal. And the degree of stress that we have is based on how much repressed and suppressed emotion we have. And then it looks in the same way of projection for events to trigger that emotion, that feeling of stress. And it doesn't let the stress go, because as we'll talk later, that's through letting go. It just brings it up to the surface in an attempt to get rid of it, but is unsuccessful in doing that.
That goddamn sunset.
Goddamn. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this analysis, definitely pick up the book. I'm sure you'll like it if you found this idea interesting. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to think. Just a quick summary of what we went over today. We were talking about one of the ways that people deal with emotion, the most common, which is suppression, repression. When you feel an emotion and you don't allow yourself to feel it, you deny it, you feel afraid or angry or ashamed for feeling it, and you push it down consciously or unconsciously. And then it's projected onto the world as a quality of the external world, even though the source is internal. So think about that. Think about where in your life you're suppressing and repressing. Begin to become aware of it, and notice to yourself, what emotions am I not letting myself feel? Is it unacceptable for me to be angry, to feel angry? And that doesn't mean getting angry with someone, yelling at someone, but feeling angry. All emotions are just emotions, so allow yourself to feel them. Don't try to change them. That's the true message of this book. In the next video, we're going to be discussing some of the other ways that David Hawkins discusses people dealing with emotions. There is expression. Then there's avoidance, which is things like entertainment, drugs, alcohol. And we'll get into how that works and some of the connotations of that. So, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you soon.